So I'm testing out from this angle background, so it's something new, whatever. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a video that has been requested because it seems like a lot of people these days are, seeing me move from one part of the country to the other part of the country, and they're like, oh my god, that's so brave. And meanwhile, I'm back here thinking like, that's not brave. People do that all the time. To me, it's just a part of growing up. Moving away is a part that kind of helps you mold yourself into an independent human, whether that's going away for college or moving like 20 minutes down the road from your parents. It's still moving and you're still learning to become independent, and I think that's a really important thing to do. But I thought this might be useful if you guys are, recently graduated and you are looking to move and start completely new. This might help you. This is the things that I learned while moving across the country, whether that be from moving from Kentucky to LA or LA to Tennessee. If you guys do enjoy this video, be sure you stick around by subscribing, and without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop into this video. Miller, you are licking my toes. Moving to a new area, no matter how far of a distance, basically is a very stressful time. No one really says to themselves like, oh yeah, moving was so easy. Like, no, it's stressful, it's time consuming, it's expensive, and it is not glamorous at all. So I know a lot of people, when they graduate college, they move to new areas that they necessarily haven't even probably visited, and if they have, it's probably just been for a short amount of time. So it's kind of like scary to move to an area that you don't really know and you're not very familiar with, and so you have to research neighborhoods and everything like that, because honestly, from my personal experience, the area that you choose to live in is either going to make or break and kind of set the tone for your time that you're going to spend in that place. So the second time technically that I moved out to LA, because I moved out to LA for like just the summer, I picked a place that I just thought looked like pretty. It was my first apartment. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like, oh, this seems like a really nice area. Let's move there. I live in Hancock Park, which is about south of Hollywood, so it's like the nicer part of Hollywood, but it's like literally steps from Hollywood. I wanted somewhere safe, and that was safe. However, it did not have like the best walkability score. So basically what a walkability score is it factors in like safety, everything around you, like can you walk to places. I couldn't necessarily walk to places at my old place, and when I moved to my next apartment in LA, that place had an amazing score because there was like a Trader Joe's, Walgreens, there were restaurants everywhere, everything like that. And so whenever I was moving to Nashville, I knew I wanted to be in a place where I could walk to places, because I didn't want to just be like closed in my apartment and like never leaving. And so that's why I chose to live downtown. You definitely have to do your research on areas, but more importantly, you need to do your research on the actual complexes. Read the reviews on Yelp, Apartment Finder, anything like that, because those are going to be like the honest reviews of people who have actually lived there. And you're also taking a big risk by moving into a new complex, because that's what I did, and it was not a good experience, but this one is better. Also, when you're moving into a new place, be sure you ask around for like demographics, basically like age, because you can move into an apartment complex that is, close to a university, and it's just like parties every freaking night, and you're like, how the hell did I end up here? Ask ages, it's really important, I promise. And then another thing you can do is, if you have the money, you can sublease an apartment for like a month before you like actually sign a lease, so then you can kind of get a feel for the area, but that itself is pretty expensive, but it's an option. When you're restarting, you kind of have the option to basically start completely over, like with your belongings and furniture and everything like that, or you can choose to move it with you. Let me just get this clear. Both options are hella expensive. So expensive. It's crazy. So months before you actually move, I would definitely recommend to get quotes from moving companies, or however much it's going to be, or how much a U-Haul is going to be, or a pod or anything like that. Decide if you really, really love your furniture that you have, and then decide from there if you're going to hire movers, or you're going to move yourself, or you're going to start completely over. By starting completely over, you can always ship your stuff via UPS, and that is what I did. It was really easy, and It ended up costing me about $500 total with all of the shit I had. Also, keep in mind that it's gonna cost way more to hire movers in the summertime because that's when people are most likely to move. So I looked online and basically the best times to move are between the months of October and May. You're not gonna really wanna hire like the lowest movers unless you have things that are not fragile or important to you, because I've heard like horror stories about movers, like cheap movers not being everything that you think they would be. Take your pictures too if you're moving of the items, and then you can sue their asses if they screw it up. If you do decide to start fresh completely, be wary of selling your things on Craigslist. Trust me, in your area there's often like Facebook groups and you can sell stuff on there, so kind of like classified. So there's a bunch of apps these days like Let Go and everything like that, so definitely look into those. And something I personally have noticed is to not sell stuff on your personal Facebook, like actual page, because one, it's kind of annoying to people to see that, and two, oftentimes people overcharge things. No one's really gonna buy that. They're gonna want to buy like the new item, you know, because they would also have to go out of the way and go pick it up. And also, when packing, you'll realize how much useless shit you have, and I'm just gonna tell you, toss it out or donate it. This is personally a tip from my father. Basically, if you decided to move your stuff, like get into U-Haul, move in your car, everything like that, the best thing you can do, because my dad actually drove from Kentucky to LA and LA to Kentucky for moving my stuff like the first time and then back. He always would book his hotel rooms in advance, and so it really wasn't like, let's see how long we can drive before falling asleep. That's not it at all. He would kind of plan it accordingly, basically reminding himself that it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. When starting over, you need to save up. Moving is so expensive, so have yard sales, do whatever you need to do. It's crazy how expensive it is. And when you are about to start over, the last month that you have in your remaining area, schedule out that last month. Like, utilize that calendar as much as you can. Fill in everything that you're gonna do. And this kind of goes hand in hand with that. Do weekly and daily checklists, because everything gets overwhelming, like seriously so overwhelming. Like, I know it probably seemed a little bit glamorous on my moving vlogs. It wasn't. It was so freaking stressful. Research basically what you need to do 8 weeks in advance, 6 weeks in advance, 4 weeks in advance, 2 weeks in advance, 1 week in advance. And that's gonna save your life. It's going to be a lot on your plate, but it's important to remind yourself that you can do it, because everyone does it. Not necessarily everyone like starts completely over in a new place, but a lot of people do, and a lot of people have been in their shoes and they have survived. So it's important to remind yourself that things will go wrong. It's inevitable. That's just moving. Things will break. You'll spend more money than you expect. It's just, you gotta take it with a grain of salt and just know that eventually you're gonna be like living in your apartment and being like, oh shit, I'm so glad I got that done. I can be here for a few years and everything will be swell and dandy. Once the whole moving fiascos and stuff are over with, you have to put yourself out there. You have to actively try to make friends, because it will be lonely. You're not above being lonely. It's really important to kind of actively try to get that support system. Friends just kind of come naturally. Yeah, you're gonna be in a lot of uncomfortable situations and probably having a lot of small talk, but that's just part of starting fresh, and things will work out just the way it's supposed to. When you realize how independent you are for the first time, it's going to be awesome, but at the same time, it is very, very scary. That's how I started over. So, I don't know how helpful that video was, but if you guys did enjoy it, be sure you give it a big thumbs up, and also stick around by subscribing. You can click this button here, or you can check out my other video right here. Starting over is so fun, and I think it's well worth it, every single penny. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time.